Hello and welcome back to the Indie Skies YouTube channel, where today the forecast is looking colourful, because we're talking about the best albums from each colour. It's pretty simple. Today we're going to look at a bunch of albums that all have the same colour cover and choose the best. The picks will be heavily weighted towards my personal taste, but I've tried to consider objective measures as well. As a quick example, for orange albums, something like Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder may be one of the most influential and beloved albums in that category, but it's not something I personally listen to much, so it wouldn't get chosen. Obviously, we're going to disagree on a lot of these choices, so I'm really interested. Which albums would you have chosen for each colour? Let me know down in the comments, like the video and subscribe to help the channel grow, and let's get into it. Okay, first up we may as well start with Pink. I've actually done a whole video on Pink album covers, which you can check out somewhere up here, so I'll keep this kind of brief. The options here include Igor by Tyler the Creator, Pink by Boris, Sunbather by Deaf Heaven, and Hell Mode by Jeff Rosenstock. But for me, the best album with a pink cover has to be Loveless by My Bloody Valentine. This is a fuzzy, ethereal masterpiece from shoegaze legends My Bloody Valentine. It's the most iconic, most heralded, and I guess most imitated album in the genre, and you can see why. It kind of does everything right. It's supremely textured and lush, and this makes for such a blissful listen, a blissin, if you will. It's a soundscape that you can really get immersed in. It's dense and noisy, and the guitar work from frontman Kevin Shields is insane. It's so creative. His approach to sound and what a guitar can do and how these sounds might play off other sounds is revolutionary. The melodies throughout are great too, catchy and intoxicating, giving the album a mesmerizing feel as the layers of instrumentation and vocals spill over each other. It somehow never falls into the trap of feeling messy though, even if individual elements can be obscured. It never feels like something's being added to the soundscape just because. It's hard to pick a favourite song, there's no filler, but I love the way Only Shallow starts the album at full throttle with the snarling riff and snare drums. The melodies are so good too. The song just has a crazy momentum and gets you in the zone straight away. It showcases all of the good things about My Bloody Valentine. It's bombastic, it's interesting, and it's really pretty. Okay, next up we're going to crown the best album with a red cover. And this is a stacked category, maybe the most stacked of the video, with albums like When the Pawn by Fiona Apple, By the Time I Get to Phoenix by Injury Reserve, Turn on the Bright Lights by Interpol, and Slanted and Enchanted by Pavement. But funnily enough, it was also the easiest choice of the day. If You're Feeling Sinister by Belle and Sebastian is my favourite album of all time, so the decision was kind of made for me. I think one day I want to do a standalone video on this album, so I won't go too in depth here, but suffice to say I think it's beyond perfect. Frontman Stuart Murdoch's writing is the centerpiece in my opinion. It's incredibly evocative, coming from a place of chronic illness where everyday sights and experiences become suffused with wonder and beauty. He's such a great storyteller and world builder, and this was definitely him at the height of his powers. Everything is so vivid, whimsical and poignant. And these songs are the perfect containers for his ideas. This is really twee pop at its zenith. It has the chamber and folk elements, it has this dark and macabre undertones, but it remains so accessible. The melodies are gorgeous, the hooks are catchy, and the instrumentation is fantastic. The pacing on the album is also amazing, the track sequencing, but also within individual songs, the way they're structured. The restrained build-up on the intro song, The Stars of Track and Field, is probably the most iconic example. It really is a lightning in a bottle album, and again, choosing a favourite song is pretty much impossible, but I think you can't go wrong with the title track. The noise of children playing at the start to set the atmosphere, the characters we're introduced to, the catchy chorus, the beautiful instrumentation, it's perfect.
Anthony walked to his death because he thought he'd never feel this way again.
Okay, next up we're going to talk about albums with yellow covers, And yellow is a strong ass category with albums such as I Can Hear the Heart Beating As One by Yo La Tengo, Dance Tonight, Revolution Tomorrow by Orchid, B by Common, and You're Living All Over Me by Dinosaur Jr. But every time I listen to Is This It by The Strokes, I'm reminded how much I love it, so it wins out here. It might be a bit of a basic pick. This might be the album I'd recommend to a younger cousin who's just getting into indie music, but that doesn't change its quality. It's a real benchmark indie rock album, often imitated, but I'm not sure it's ever been topped in terms of what it sets out to do. It's just so fun to listen to, so replayable, it's so tight, pretty much perfect from start to finish, and there's such a swaggering confidence to the album. In the music, of course, with the breathless instrumentation, but also the aesthetic. There's a real mythos that has emerged about the Strokes' place in the early 2000s New York indie scene that really adds to the whole package. It's a timeless album, but it does feel very definitive of that environment. But of course, it's the vocals, courtesy of Julian Casablancas, that really ties everything together. They tend towards weariness, they can be sardonic, but the vocal fry and the warmth are really just perfect. It's such a solid track list. Again, there's no skips, but I think my favourite song is Someday. It's timeless and nostalgic, bouncy and anthemic, with beautiful lyrics about growing up and being misunderstood. Okay, next we're going to talk about albums with blue covers. And this was a close one. There's some massive albums here, including Blue by Joni Mitchell, Dummy by Portishead, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness by the Smashing Pumpkins, and Self-Titled by Elliott Smith. But I've been on a bit of a spiritualized kick recently, so Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space is my pick. This album is pretty definitive of the psychedelic and atmospheric subgenre space rock. It's an album whose sound and concept is kind of hard to get into within the scope of this video, but I'll do my best. It's dreamy, powerful, and sincere. It's a real experience. If you take something like Is This It by The Strokes, that's an album you can pop in and out of. It's very immediate. An album like Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space might require a bit more work. It's a long album, the songs rely heavily on their atmosphere, and sometimes take a little while to fully unfold. But it's so worth being patient and letting this thing grow on you and get under your skin. The album was made in the midst and aftermath of frontman Jason Pierce's breakup with bandmate Kate Radley and his resulting descent into hardcore substance abuse. Within the album, you have a very personal and frank exploration of these two things, and they bleed into each other in a really compelling way. The pain and anguish of heartbreak and the numbness and escapism of drug abuse. The opening line of the album, All I Want in Life is a Little Bit of Love to Take the Pain Away, is such a succinct and powerful thesis statement to precede what is a sprawling and epic emotional journey. And there's a lot of great writing on here. A few of my favourite lines include I Think I Can Fly, probably just falling, from the song I Think I'm in Love, where the titular love refers to heroin, or the iconic opening line on Cop Shoot Cop, Hey man, there's a hole in my arm where the money goes, Jesus Christ died for nothing, I suppose. It's a strangely soothing album. I think my favourite song is probably the mesmerising and tragic opener, Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space. Like a lot of the songs on here, it's just so glorious when it opens up. Okay, let's move on to albums with green covers. And this was a hard one to pick. There's a lot of great albums in this list, including Dots and Loops by Stereolab, 5 Leaves Left by Nick Drake, Karis and Calypso in the Deep Time by Candy Claus, and Merriweather Post Pavilion by Animal Collective. For me though, and this is probably the best album by one of my favourite bands, and one of the most underrated indie acts of all time really, I've gone with It's a Wonderful Life by Sparklehorse. For those unfamiliar with Sparklehorse, I'd say they inhabit a space somewhere between the emotive and vulnerable performances of Elliott Smith and the zaniness of Tom Waits, like a precursor to someone like Alex G. And this is a beautiful and comforting but eclectic album. It's so raw, and something about it feels a little unsettling. There's a heavy slowcore influence, it tends towards being calm, it meanders, but there's enough variety and risk-taking to ensure it remains compelling throughout, and you're always rewarded for your patience. There's moments of delicacy, both instrumentally and vocally, with Mark Linklaus's hushed, warm tones. A song like Gold Day, which features Nina Persson from The Cardigans, is piercingly beautiful. And then there's moments of mania, like the insane, abrasive Dog Door, which actually features Tom Waits. There's everything in between the extremes too, and it's also captivating, thanks in part to the writing. It's poetic, profound, weird, and heartbreaking. Mark really had a way of putting things that just cut right to the heart of an issue or an experience. And I guess, true to the album's name, it feels like he's seeing everything, even the bad things, with this sense of wonder, which is really special. You know, there's lines on here that might make you laugh, there's lines that might make you think about something differently, and there's definitely lines that'll make you cry. Even the hidden track at the end of the album, Morning Hollow, is a devastating ode to an aging dog. I love this album, I love Sparkle Horse. I think my favourite track is probably Sea Teeth, with its hypnotising piano and drum arrangements, and gorgeous meditations on decay and endurance.
Trees will turn to soil.
Okay, next up we're going to talk about Purple album covers, which is another pretty stacked list. You have Purple Mountains self-titled, Hounds of Love by Kate Bush, Currents by Tame Impala, and Fevers and Mirrors by Bright Eyes. For me though, the best album with a purple cover is The Moon and Antarctica by Modest Mouse. This is my favourite album of theirs, and a very strong discography. I know a lot of fans prefer Lonesome Crowded West or even the debut, but for me this one just pips them. It's a pretty cold album, it's gloomy, existential. If you know about Modest Mouse and their frontman, Isaac Brock, then it goes without saying that the writing is great. Everything that's keeping me together is falling apart. There's such a killer opening line to an album, and the quality doesn't let up. There's depth and intrigue, it's rich and lucid. The album focuses on wonder and dread, the fragility and insignificance of existence, futility, how it feels to be so small in such a vast and unknowable universe. And these ideas are brought sharply into focus by how the album sounds. There's space and atmosphere, and a weight that can feel almost inescapable at times. Take the mean-sounding guitar riff and punishing drums of Dark Center of the Universe, or the bleak, barren expanse of The Cold Part. Although it is important to note there are moments of respite where the weight lifts, such as the second half of Lives, when the track unfurls into a lovely, open folk tune. Conceptually, it's just so interesting and vivid. It's the most immediate and catchy of Modest Mouse's incredible first 3 album run. Super special album. I think my favourite song would be Gravity Rides Everything. It's quite a jangly and hopeful song with a really beautiful message. Gives me shivers.
It all will fall right into place. As fruit drops, flesh it sings.
Okay, and finally we're going to talk about albums with orange covers. And there's some amazing albums here, such as Original Pirate Material by The Streets, Channel Orange by Frank Ocean, Plastic Beach by Gorillaz, and self-titled, and maybe you could count 13 as well, by Blur. But honestly, I don't think there's any that I'd count as all-time favourites of mine. If you were to count In Rainbows by Radiohead, or Either Or by Elliott Smith as orange covers, I'd probably choose one of those two, but that feels a bit like cheating, so I'm going to talk about one of the best albums of the last 10 years, which is Magdalene by FKA Twigs. This is contemporary art pop perfection. It's cinematic, and it almost feels like fine art, it's so well realised. I love the glitchy, deconstructed production, especially when it explodes into maximalism and gets a little crunchy, like at the end of Sad Day or Mary Magdalene. The album is so moody and sinister in parts, absolutely angelic and ethereal in others. It's also a pretty personal and vulnerable project. I think it was written in the aftermath of Twigs' breakup with Robert Pattinson, and it explores heartbreak and regret, but also celebrity, being in the public eye and having your actions scrutinised. She really put a lot of herself in the album, and you can hear that in the performances. Her vocals are great throughout, and a song like Cellophane is so emotive that it's almost hard to listen to. My favourite song though is probably the intro, 1,000 Eyes. I just think it's such a powerful way to start the album. It's minimal, but there's real gravity to it. It sounds almost medieval or Gregorian, and the picture it paints is so clear. It's a super unique, super cool song.
If you don't pull me back, it wakes 1,000 eyes.
Okay guys, there we go. Those were my picks for the best albums for each colour, but the conversation starts here. I want to hear what you guys would have picked in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff, and I'll see you next time. Peace.